5 years later, I'm restarting my YouTube. I'm so sorry. I did this as a COVID project. I started school, I started my career, and yeah, sorry. I got a little bit busy, but I got my master's and I got my career. But I'm still cooking, so get ready. This is a sopa de frijoles, my way, my mom way, Honduran. So hope you enjoy.
The last time I made beans on the stove, I burned them. So now I am a very millennial and use my Instapot to cook them. For the soup, I'm using a half of a 1 pound bag of red small beans. And I'm going to pick and clean, pick out all the nasty beans, and I'm going to wash and rinse them a couple of times. Once clean, we're going to fill our pot with a whole bunch of water. To the pot, I'm adding 1/4 of a large white onion, 1/4 of a large green bell pepper, 3 garlic cloves, and a big chunk of salt and cumin powder. And now we stir. Changing the settings of the Instapot to pressure cook high for 20 minutes. And while the beans cook, I'm going to get started on the costilla de cerdo that I'm adding to the beans. I'm chopping a 1/2 cup of green bell peppers, another 1/2 cup of white onions, about 3 garlic cloves. You can use as many as you'd like, the more the better. And all of this will add so much flavor to your soup. And afterwards, I'm chopping 1 tomato. And in my house, I always have to have chimichurri. So I'm going to steal some of that oil from the chimichurri and use that to saute my veggies. This is just a little bit of a secret to add more flavor into your food. Say hi to my little sous chef. For the soup, I am using 2 pounds of pork ribs. You can use pork or beef, whichever one you prefer, but pork is what I found at the supermarket. So I'm gonna saute that, and after a while, I'm gonna season it with 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of cumin powder. I'm moving the meats around to make sure that each piece gets a little bit of that seasoning. Then I'm adding half of the sazonador costilla that I use in all my beans. Even when I don't make a bean soup and I only make beans, I use this because it has so much flavor. I'm also adding some black pepper and a pinch of achote powder. This one I bought from Honduras. And once the meat starts to brown, this is when it's ready to add to the soup. And it's okay if it's still not fully cooked. It's going to fully cook in the soup once we add it. So release the steam. And here we have some beans that are still hard, but we're still going to cook them some more. We're going to add our meat and veggies into the pot. Spread that around. Now I'm adding some more filtered water and filling the pot all the way to its full capacity. And here comes more flavor. I'm adding 3 pieces of culantro leaves and 1 piece of celery leaves. Mix that. We're covering it and cooking it again for 25 minutes. Once the time is up, we release the steam. And now this is when we check for flavor. I felt that I needed more salt in mine, so I added a bit more and some of that costilla powder. And I added some cilantro, chopped cilantro. I stir it and cook it for just 5 more minutes. And now I have my very delicious sopa de frijoles con costilla. And I'm plating it. And I am so ready to eat. I add 3 pieces of the meats, whole bunch of beans, and a whole bunch of stock. And I'm gonna pair this with some guineo verde and some rice, white rice. And there you go. Your food is ready. I hope you enjoy and you have a buen provecho. Yum.